and as a force who has stubbornly championed composers' new music. You represent the noblest ideals in music. Your life's work truly defines the word musician, and by your example, you are a teacher to everyone. That you came to Yale as a young man in the early 1940s to study with Paul Hindemith only increases the pleasure Yale now enjoys in conferring upon you the degree of Doctor of Music.
For the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, Russell Baker, author, columnist, The New York Times.
Russell Wayne Baker. As a trenchant examiner of the American scene for the past 3 decades, you employ a subtle mind and an elegant style and a piercing wit in the service of uncovering the truth. As a memoirist, you have provided a model for those who would use their own experience to illuminate an era. In all of your writings, you have personified the distinction you yourself once drew, not solemn, but serious. In appreciation for what you have taught us about ourselves, Yale, with great seriousness and just a touch of that pomp and solemnity you love to lampoon, awards you Doctor of Humane Letters.
For the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts, John Crosby, General Director, the Santa Fe Opera.
John O'Hay Crosby, your energy and vision have created the Santa Fe Opera, which has taken its place among the great opera companies of the world, treating audiences to the great masters of the 20th century, such as Stravinsky, Berg, Henze, Hindemith, and Penderecki, as well as the composers of the 18th and 19th century. As artistic director and conductor, you personally oversaw the performance of virtually all of the operas of Richard Strauss. Your willingness to risk new repertoire inspired many other companies to take chances with lesser-known works and created a receptive climate for contemporary opera throughout the country. In recognition of your ideals, high musical standards, and the lasting accomplishments of your life in music, Yale is pleased to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts.
For the degree of Doctor of Science, Elizabeth H. Blackburn, Professor of Molecular Biology, University of California, San Francisco.
Elizabeth H. Blackburn. All good things perhaps must come to an end, and so must the chromosomes bearing our genetic material. Others have pursued landlocked genes safely surrounded by ample DNA, but you have ventured forth to study the very termini of the chromosomes, the telomeres, themselves. Others have pursued the genes of complex organisms ranging from flies to mice to humans, but you have displayed steadfast devotion to a lowly single-celled denizens of ponds and springs known as tetrahymena. This journey to the edge of the chromosome has taken you both backward and forward, providing a window on questions as diverse as the origin of the genetic material and the causes of aging and senescence. Yale notes with pride that your splendid career began as a postdoctoral fellow here. Your old-fashioned virtues in a new-fashioned field have helped unlock some of nature's deepest secrets. Yale is proud to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Science.
For the degree of Doctor of Laws, Herbert Wexler, Harlan Fiske Stone Professor Emeritus of Constitutional Law, Columbia Law School.
Herbert Wexler, you have personified the force of legal principle and process in relation to the most complex realities of this century: the Great Depression, the crimes of the Nazis in the Nuremberg trials, the imperatives of constitutional government during World War, the scope and importance of the judicial process in America. Your life's work has been the improvement of law through systematic application of the powers of reason. You have insisted that law must be rooted in the neutrality and generality of principle, even as it takes full account of the psychological, administrative, and social realities in which the legal system functions. As the architect of the Model Penal Code, as the creator of profound scholarship, and as a dedicated public service, you teach, above all, the lesson that even in times of strife and doubt, it is possible within academic walls to live greatly in the law. Yale is proud to honor your brilliant contributions to our law by awarding you the degree of Doctor of Laws.
For the degree of Doctor of Laws, W. Edwards Deming, Consultant in Statistical Studies.
W. Edwards Deming, for the past 4 decades, you have been the world's champion of quality management. You have developed a theory of management based on scientific and statistical principles in which people remain the least predictable and most important part. Your scholarly insights, your path-breaking research, your wisdom have revolutionized industry around the world. Yale is proud to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws.
For the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, Janetta Betch Cole, President, Spelman College.
Janetta Betch Cole, we honor you for the magnetic leadership you provide to your campus and to the nation. You offer a compelling voice for the unrealized goals of true equality, and you are a powerful, eloquent advocate for the liberal arts and for the role of women's colleges today. As president of our country's preeminent black college for women, you have demonstrated your personal commitment to encouraging leadership among black women. You are an inspiration to your students and to all who see you working for a more just and a more inclusive society. Sister President, as you are known on your campus, Yale, with admiration and affection, confers upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters.
For the degree of Doctor of Laws, George Herbert Walker Bush, President of the United States.
George Herbert Walker Bush. Few graduates in Yale's history have committed themselves more fully to the ideal of public service set out in our original charter and carried forward by Yale graduates for 3 centuries. You have served our nation for nearly a half-century in an extraordinary range of public responsibilities. From the time even before you came to Yale as the youngest pilot in the U.S. Navy in World War II, to the culmination of your public service now as President of the United States. You lead our nation in a time of unprecedented change and turmoil in the world, a time when humanity's hopes for peace, freedom, and justice have broken through barriers of repression around the world. We trust that the lessons you learned here in Yale's classrooms and libraries, and those you've drawn as well from your days on our playing field as a sure-handed, clutch-hitting captain of Yale baseball, will continue to guide your stewardship of the awesome responsibilities of your office. Yale salutes you for carrying forward our institution's historic commitment to public service, as we proudly confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws.
Thank you very much.